An evangelical candidate running in Texas wants to enter the House, wrote a novel not too many years ago. It's a sequel to the Diary of Anne Frank. That's such a weird sentence. Why you would choose to write a sequel to something with so much gravity, so much historic weight, so much just revealed so much truth of the horror of that time, of the Holocaust, that you as an evangelical would choose to do that. That's really ballsy, I guess, is one way to say it. Terrible, potentially. But it turns out that in practice, it's even worse than you might think. So he's already won the district's primary. He's the actual candidate. And I decided to go look for this book. You can see a shot of it right here. Doesn't appear to still be on Amazon. They apparently took it down now that people are talking about it. But this is the Lost Diary of Anne Frank. And you can see that it's only got 2 stars. Okay, this is the Lost Diary of Anne Frank, published in 2020. It imagines the Jewish Holocaust victims' final days in Auschwitz, and how she might have written about them in her diary, missing the fact that you're not allowed to write in a diary when the Nazis are imprisoning you and eventually killing you, but I guess you gotta give him his premise. Here is what makes it actually worse. In it, she appears to convert or come close to converting to Christianity before she's murdered for being Jewish. Okay, it was published by History of Books. It attempts to, in their words, faithfully extend the writing style of Frank's original diary, picks up where her original journey left off. That's one way to put it. Teague claims to have interviewed Holocaust survivors and visited the Anne Frank house, multiple concentration camps, and the major Holocaust museums in Washington, D.C. and Israel as part of his research. But I just wanted to read a little bit from the one review of this book on Goodreads because I thought it was amazing. It says, what made me pause reading and find out more about the man behind the book was when Teague had Anne reciting the Lord's Prayer. You read that right. Teague had a 15-year-old girl imprisoned at Auschwitz for no other reason that she was born a Jew, surrounded by death every single day, invoking the Lord's Prayer because it brought her comfort. Not a Hebrew prayer her mother or father may have said while Anne was growing up, but a Christian prayer she had never heard before. To say I was livid doesn't even begin to touch on how I felt reading these passages. I'm Christian, by the way. The arrogance, the audacity. What sort of man does something so utterly disrespectful to not only Anne Frank, but to the 6 million Jews lost in the Holocaust? He has her at one point say, I would love to learn more about Jesus and all he faced in his dear life as a Jewish teacher. I don't know what would make it okay for you to decide as an old evangelical man that you get to write the sequel to this young slain Jewish girl's diary. But making it where in your telling, she says in the end that all of your religious beliefs are actually the right ones and her and her family that were all killed, they're the crazy ones. That's not the way to go, JR, what do you think?
So I'm trying to figure the point of this. So someone
money, I guess.
Yeah, John, you've written a book, right?
I have.
When you started that book,
it was not a sequel. It was not a sequel to the Diary of Anne Frank. I'll say that.
Good. But if you did, or even in the book that you did write, which I think is what it's fiction, a novel, right? So the idea is you have an end game here. You have a point you want to get to. Maybe you want to inspire the reader, and maybe you want them to feel certain things. There's usually a direction. There's something you want to get to. What's the reason for this guy? What's the end game? When he woke up one morning, and went, I've got it. And Frank converted. Why is that inspirational to you? Do you think it's gonna make people?
Guess?
Do you think Jewish folks are gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna convert to Christianity because of this stupid ass book. Is that the conclusion he's looking for?
My guess would be that, like a lot of evangelicals, I don't think he actually gives a damn about Jewish people or what they believe or whatever. Jewish people in Israel are convenient for some of the geopolitical goals. I don't think they really care about Jewish people. I would say that all this is a way more involved version of what you get when a right-wing politician or pundit decides to start talking about Martin Luther King Jr. So, and saying he probably would have been totally MAGA and he would have wanted to build that wall. They have no sympathetic or inspirational characters on their side. It is utterly devoid of heroism or compassion or achievement or whatever. So they have to steal them. And if you can steal Martin Luther King Jr., why can't you steal Anne Frank? She's really inspirational, very brave, inspiring to a lot of people, a lot of young people. She's ours now. She's gonna be conservative, she's gonna be evangelical, she's the best, and we're the best because she's ours. I think that's probably what it is.
It's weird how that's it's a irregularity of taking over the purity of someone else because you've run out of yours. You're like, let's go ahead and let's take that in. It's like ingesting it so maybe you can fit it in your own stomach. So also outside of that, if she converted to Christianity right before the Nazis showed up, who's the bad guy? Weren't the Nazis the Christians, right? I mean, at least in their minds, at least enough people that they've convinced to believe so. So which one of these folks is the good and bad guy? And as far as this inspiration for what people may want to believe or take from this book, which side is the good guys here?
Yeah.
Is he saying that these Christians that showed up and murdered her, they were the good guys because she converted?
Look, there were clearly people fighting against the Nazis who were Christians. That is definitely a true thing.
But they
at the
believe
same time,
they said they.
Yeah. Oh no, the Nazis were explicitly Christian. It was all over. Like check their belt buckles and stuff like that. But the idea that you would be experiencing religiously grounded, lethal persecution, and would, while experiencing that, decide that that side is right, is the weirdest projected hypothetical Stockholm syndrome that I think I've ever seen. This guy is, again, running for office. We'll see if this is a good campaign strategy. I hope that it's not, but this is America, so stay tuned to find out.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.